Hello campus hikers and viewers, welcome back to Camp With Us. In this video, we're sharing our full 9-day campervan itinerary through New Zealand's South Island, a perfect adventure for families. Whether you're planning your own road trip or just dreaming about it, we will walk you through where we stayed, what we explored, and what we did differently so you can make the most of your time in this stunning part of the world. Originally, we thought we could do both islands in 7 days, but once we started planning, we realized that's impossible. Even trying to rush to South Island alone is tight in a week. So we have to allocate around 9 days, and we chose South Island, hired a campervan, and set out to make the most of every day. So sit back and enjoy the video, and while you're at it, please hit that subscribe button, and it would be very encouraging for us to make more and more videos like this. Let's get right into it.
Welcome on board your Jetstar flight.
We landed in Christchurch to grey skies and storm warnings. The west coast and northern parts of South Island, which were part of our original itinerary, were facing heavy rains. It wasn't safe to head that way, so even before picking up the van, we flipped our plan and decided to go clockwise towards Lake Tekapo and Mount Cook first. But jet lag hit us hard. No sleep, 2 excited kids, and our first time driving a large camper van. It was a lot to take in. And within a couple of hours, we were at Lake Tekapo. And it hit us. We are in New Zealand. The lake's blue color is surreal. I expected it to be hidden in the mountains, but it's right by the roadside with cafes, shops, and restaurants all around. A tourist hub, but still very peaceful. From Lake Tekapo, we continued towards Lake Pukaki. The views became more and more surreal. The water, the clouds, and the backdrop of Mount Cook rising in the distance. We reached Glentana Caravan Park just outside Mount Cook National Park. Originally, we wanted to stay at White Horse Campground right under Mount Cook, but we opted for a powered side on our first night just to ease into the campervan life. The views were out of the world, but we did not fully register them till morning. It was only the first day, but New Zealand had already taken our breath away. We went to sleep with mountains outside our window and hearts full of wonder. Day 2 started with driving towards Mount Cook, which is a very short drive, but it was magical because look at the view. The mountains are shining and it's like entering a fantasy world. We packed up and headed towards Hooker Valley Track, one of the New Zealand's most iconic walks. At the start, we saw glaciers in the distance and thought, if this is the view at the start, what's waiting at the end? But within half an hour of the hike, when we reached the first swing bridge, we hit a blockade. The storm warning yesterday wasn't a joke. The bridge was closed for the safety checks. Still, we had our first real view of glaciers. Akira and Avira were stunned, and we couldn't believe it. This was just day 2. From there we drove towards Wanaka next, but took a detour at Lake Ohio, stopping at the base of Quiet Mountain for the lunch. This is why we chose a campervan. We can just pull over, cook, and eat in a place like this. As the day wound down, we stopped at Albertown Campground, just outside Wanaka, nestled between the river banks and mountains. Another perfect night under the stars. The kind of campsite where you close your eyes and just listen. Then we explored Wanaka, a charming little town bustling with summer energy. Kids were swimming, people picnicking, and cafes bustling. We had lunch right by the lake, and the food was amazing. Lots of hidden laneways with local restaurants. From there we headed towards Raspberry Flight Campground near Mount Aspiring National Park. This drive was something else. The unsealed road bouncing across fords and creek crossings, red deers running by the roadside, and waterfalls just appearing from the cliffs. The campground is remote, no major crowd, just a handful of campers, and absolute peace. If you want a real off-grid experience, this is it. Also, this area is the starting point of several multi-day hikes. We didn't do any of them, but it made us want to come back. Today, we found our rhythm, wild roads, hidden trails, and pure nature. From Aspiring National Park, we made our way to Queenstown. Yes, we knew we would have to drive back the same way to head to the west coast, but we had no choice. The Crown Range Lookout is a king of all viewpoints, and coming down into Queenstown from there in a campervan is slightly scary but unforgettable. Queenstown lived up to its hype. We had to try Ferg Burger, and yes, it was worth the wait. We camped at Driftaway Holiday Park, which has balcony views over Queenstown. We cooked dinner overlooking the lake, watching the sky turn pink. One of those perfect moments you don't plan but remember forever. Honestly, if we have got more time, we would spend another day or two just in Queenstown doing local hikes, local trips around Queenstown. If you are into adrenaline pumping adventures like bungee jumping, jetboarding, whitewater rafting, skiing, snowboarding, skydiving, Queenstown is the place. This was the day we drove to Milford Sound. The drive itself is legendary. Steep cliffs, alpine forests, and hundreds of waterfalls cascading down after the rain. We crossed the Homer Tunnel, a one-way tunnel that feels like a portal into another world, and emerged into an ancient glacial valley. We parked, it's a paid lot, and walked about 10 to 15 minutes to terminal and boarded a cruise into the Sound. The place is alive. Towering cliffs, deep fjords, waterfalls you sail right under. The kids were wide-eyed, so are we. Even in the rain, or maybe especially in the rain, it was unforgettable. Milford Sound was magic, carved by time, shaped by rain, exhausted, soaked, and completely fulfilled. We called it a night. We drove back through the same cliffs, to the same tunnel once again, and reached Te Anau and camped at Tasman Holiday Park in Te Anau. This is the day we are taking the same route back. It can get a bit boring if you're driving on the same route. And also so far the mountains had been grey, rugged and dramatic, impressive in the sheer scale, but missing something. What they were missing was snow, and then it happened. Almost like reward for everything we had been so far. On our return journey from Teano towards the west coast, we were greeted by fresh snowfall. This is the surprise I was talking about. The same route we have driven just days earlier now felt completely transformed. Before it was powerful and raw, now it was soft, quiet, and almost otherworldly. Every peak was dusted with white, every valley held that winter silence, and the light bouncing of the snow gave everything a magical glow. It was surreal. We kept pulling over, not because we had to, but because we couldn't help it. Each corner revealed a new snow-capped view, and it felt like we were discovering this road for the first time again. We stopped for lunch at breathtaking Lake Hawaii. Look around, how can we not stop? And we are glad we did it. Snow-capped mountains surrounding us like a painting, and lake shimmered a stunning turquoise blue. The kids had a blast skipping rocks along the shore, their laughter echoing in the quiet. It felt like we had the whole magical place to ourselves. Just us, nature, and a moment we'll never forget.
Je te laisserai tes mains en dessous de ta porte, en dessous de la mur qui charme, tout près de la place où tes pieds passent, cachés dans les trous dans ton hiver. Et quand tu es seul pendant un instant,
we eventually made it to Fox Glacier, found a powered site at a holiday park, and set up for the night. Snow on the mountains, stars overhead, steam from kettle rising in the cold air. It was one of those evenings that quietly stays with you and long after the trip is over. We started the morning with a walk around Lake Matheson, famous for its reflections of Mount Cook and Mount Tasman. In the still water, we saw Mount Cook and Mount Tasman reflected perfectly. As we continued our journey up the west coast, something became very clear. There just weren't many people around. This stretch of New Zealand felt remote, untouched, and wild in the best way possible. We would drive for long stretches without seeing any other vehicle. Then came one of the biggest highlights of our trip, the helicopter ride over Franz Josef Glacier. We were up in the air within minutes. The liftoff alone was breathtaking. Rising above the rainforest with the glacier suddenly appearing like a frozen river flowing from southern Alps. The flight was short but packed with jaw-dropping views, crevasses, icy cliffs, deep blue meltwater streams running through the ancient ice, and then the landing. Stepping out on the glacier felt like landing on another planet. Everything was pure, white, crisp, and quiet. The ice cracked underfoot and the wind carried that unmistakable alpine chill. We had about 10 minutes to walk around, took photos, and just stand in awe, surrounded by jagged icy peaks and panoramic mountain views. On our way from Franz Joseph to Jackson, we wished we had one more day. We would have stopped at Hokitika and Punakaiki, both right on the road. But with the sun setting, we decided to push through to Jackson for the night. We checked into Jackson Retreat Alpine Holiday Park, a peaceful spot with great powered and unpowered sites. A hot shower felt amazing after the drive, and we drifted off to sleep, feeling refreshed and ready for the next adventure. Our final full day on the road began with a drive into the heart of Southern Alps through the legendary Arthur Pass. Snow-capped peaks towered above us, waterfalls trickling down cliffs, and every bend in the road looked like a postcard waiting to happen. We had crossed a lot of mountain roads in the trip, but Arthur Pass felt different. It was quieter, older, and in a way more majestic. There are plenty of short hikes and viewpoints along the way. Places like Devil's Punchbowl Falls and the Otira Viaduct Lookout. As the peaks gradually gave way to plains, we rolled into Christchurch, completing our nearly 1500-kilometer loop around South Island. We returned the campervan, a little dusty, a little muddy, and filled with memories, and checked into Ibis Hotel right in the heart of the city. And here's a surprise. Christchurch has a wonderful nightlife. After days of remote wilderness and quiet campgrounds, it felt like stepping into another world. We wandered into the nightlife, a vibrant cluster of restaurants and bars buzzing with energy. Live music played in the background, fairy tales twinkled overhead, and we could feel that shared vibe of people celebrating something, anything. We had a slow dinner, swapped stories about our favorite stops, and let the city's warmth gently close the chapter on our trip. It wasn't a wild party, it was a soft exhale after an incredible adventure. From glaciers to glow-ups, today was the perfect transition back into the world. Arthur Pass gave us one last taste of mountains, and Christchurch gave us a toast to the road behind us. If you're planning a South Island trip, here are our takeaways. Don't try to do too much. Even a week is barely enough. Campervan is a great way to explore, especially with kids. Be flexible, weather can change your plans, and that's okay. Give each region at least 3-4 days if you can. And always leave room for surprises. They're the best part. That's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and it would be amazing if you could like and share this video. We'll be back soon with more detailed adventures. Until then, stay safe, healthy, and happy. See you all next time.